Alrighty, back here on the hilltop, let's take a look at the starters for tonight's game. First, for the Lady Royals of Mason County, 9-14 on the year, coached by Paula Buser. At a guard, a 5'8 sophomore, number 3, Sarah Payne. Payne averaging 7 points a game. Another guard is Alexis Young. She wears the number 12. She's a 5'11 freshman who is averaging 5 points a contest. The third guard is Macy Littleton. She's their leading scorer at 9.5 points per game. She's a 5'5 senior who wears the number 15. At one of the forwards, Lacey Burns. Burns wears the number 2. She's a 5'3 junior averaging 8.3. And at the other forward, a 5'9 senior, number 30, Avery Sims. Sims averaging 7.4 points per contest. So once again, for the Lady Royals, it'll be Payne, Young, Littleton, Burns, and Sims. Offensively, the Lady Royals averaging 43.8 points per game. On defense, giving up just 47 points per contest. Now for the Harrison County Fillies, 7-16 on the year, coached by Bill Watson. At a guard, a 5'6 senior, number 13, Brooke Kinney. Kinney averaging an even 4 points per game. Another guard is number 21, Keely Custard. Custard's a 5'4 freshman who's averaging 8.1 points a game. The third guard is manned by Bailey Hudgens. Bailey's played extremely well the last 3 games. She wears the number 23 and is a 5'6 sophomore, averaging 8.2 points per contest. At one of the forward positions is Harrison County's leading scorer, Caroline Van Hook. Caroline wears the number 22, and she's a 5'9 senior, averaging 9.3 points a game. And at the other forward, a 5'8 sophomore, number 34, Katie Linville. Linville averaging 1.9 points per contest. So once again, for the Fillies, it'll be Kinney, Custard, Hudgens, Van Hook, and Linville. Harrison County this season offensively averaging 39.8 points per game. On defense, giving up 53.4. On paper, Mason County about an 8-point favorite to win this game and improve to 10-14 on the year. But we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out. Harrison County was a rather large underdog to the Lady Saints of St. Patrick on Saturday and still came away with the upset win. Well, the Fillies have returned to the locker room. Mason County getting in some final warm-up tosses. That'll give us an opportunity to take it back to the station to Bruce Templeton from Unity Christian Church with tonight's pregame prayer. Alrighty, back here at the hilltop, Harrison County and Mason County facing each other for the 65th time in girls basketball. Mason County right now leads the series 38-26, but here on the hilltop it's been a tight series with Harrison County winning 14, but Mason County winning 15 to be a nice night to even up our home record against the Lady Royals here tonight. This series began back in January of 1976 when the Fillies traveled to Maysville and came home on the wrong end of a 46-32 score. Last year, the two teams got together in the Class 2A sectional finals here on the hilltop, a game that Harrison County won 34-31. I'm pretty sure that some of the Lady Royals remember that game and will try to get some vengeance here tonight. So there's your review of the rivalry between Harrison County and Mason County in girls basketball. Well, we'll take a break and come back and take a look at what the other winter sports are doing on the hilltop. That coming up right after this. You're listening to the Cynthiana Hardy's pregame show on WC. County back here on the hilltop. Harrison County and Mason County just a couple of minutes away from getting this contest started. Well, the Fillies will be back in action on the road as we'll travel up US 27 North to Pendleton County for an encounter with the Pendleton County Lady Cats and Wildcats in what will be a girl-boy doubleheader. Back on January the 27th here on the hilltop, Pendleton County came in and won rather handily 68-34. The girls will play in the first game of that doubleheader at around 6 o'clock. Once again, that coming up on Friday. Then on Saturday, the road show will continue for the Fillies as they'll travel to Flemingsburg to take on the Lady Panthers of Fleming County. That's a 4 o'clock start, so make note of that time in case you're planning to come over and support your Fillies over in Flemingsburg. JV will start around 2:30. Then next week, we'll finish things up in the regular season with a couple of games at Augusta, and then we'll finish things off with a home game against Lexington Sayre. Both of those games, Augusta and Sayre, happening next week. Meanwhile, the Thoroughbreds will be back in action tomorrow. The Thoroughbreds 21-4 on the year. They'll be playing over at Paris High School. Our guys will also be the back half of that girl-boy doubleheader up in Falmouth against Pendleton County. On Saturday, the guys will return home to take on Woodford County. It's a pretty tough team in the 11th region. And then next week, just like the girls, the boys will finish things up as they'll have road games at Flemingsburg and at Bourbon County as well. Well, our boys wrestling team is preparing for the Region 6 tournament, which will be coming up on Saturday. That will be held at Frederick Douglass High School. But congratulations to our girls wrestling team coming in second in the state tournament over the weekend. Now, I'm sure our girls are disappointed because it does snap a string of 3 consecutive state championships. But still, number 2 in the state ain't too bad. We had 3 of our girls end up placing or coming in at least in the top 3 in their weight divisions. Jenny Fortner, Layla Davis, and Harley Coppage all attaining that lofty status and helping Harrison County to that second place finish in the girls state tournament this past weekend, which was up at Tates Creek High School. Also want to wish the best of luck to some of the members of our air rifle team. I noticed on the marquee out in front of the school that our air rifle people are going to be participating in the Nationals, so best of luck to them in that endeavor. And our girls bowling team, who came in regional runner-ups, will be heading to Louisville for a date on Wednesday in the state girls bowling championship, so best of luck to our girls bowlers in that endeavor. Right now, the colors are being presented by the Harrison County Junior ROTC. We'll hear the national anthem played by our pep band, after which we'll take a break and then come back for the tip-off for tonight's game. But right now, our Star Spangled Banner. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, the starting five for the visiting Lady Royals are being introduced as we speak, after which Harrison County's opening quintet will have the same done. A little bit of a smallish crowd for tonight's game. We said the Fillies with just 5 regular season games left, but the district tournament is here, so people will have a chance to hopefully watch 2 games for the Fillies. That will be week after next, as the regular season will finish up next week, obviously. But it's been a good year for our girls. They've shown a lot of improvement since the first of the season. Got more used to Coach Watson and his ideas about how to play the game, and just have grown as a team, both individually and as a squad, and hopefully that will pay dividends come the district tournament, no matter who we play. 2-man, make that 3-man crew for our officials here tonight. So we're about to get this game underway. Jumping center for Harrison County, Caroline Van Hook. Across the midcourt stripe, Alexis Young, the freshman for Mason County. Harrison 7-16, Mason 9-14. Both teams in the lower part of the pack in the 10th region this season. Both going through coaching changes, which is never easy. Of course, both coaches, Coach Watson and Coach Buser, veteran coaches, but just not recently. With the basketball across the timeline after Mason County receives the first tap, Avery Sims flies to the basket and lays it in. Well, we're going to have to do a little bit better job than that. So Sims puts her team up 2-0, and we haven't even played 10 seconds yet. With the basketball, a steal by Mason County. Into the paint goes Burns to the basket and lays it in. Ugh. Lacey Burns puts her team up by a score of 4-0. 7:27. Now a steal off the press. Shot put up no good. Rebound pulled down this time by Alexis Young. And her shot is no good either. Bailey Hudgens with the rebound, but then she throws it away. Into the front court, shot put up, no good. Rebound battled for, and finally coming out of there will be Mason County. Here's a 3, fired up and good by Sarah Payne. And that will also involve a timeout called by Harrison County, as I'm certain that this is not near the way that Coach Watson was hoping that this game would start out. Harrison County already down 7-0. We haven't played a minute yet. So mark that down. 7:03, in fact, specifically left in this first quarter, with Harrison trailing 7-0. Well, you know about the Beast Pizza, but don't forget about Snappy's great salads and sandwiches. Just dial 235-7627 right now. That's 235.
Snap.
Oh, depressing, Ryan. That sounds like what the mood of the Phillies bench is right now.
Yep.
All righty, into the front court comes Harrison County. Van Hook gets it into the corner to Custard. Harrison County still got to get a shot off. First 3 possessions, 3 turnovers. Up top, Kenny for a 3. No good off of the right, big time. And the rebound's going to be pulled in by Sims. Into the front court with the basketball come the Lady Royals. Ball pitched to the near side to Sims. Now they'll hand the ball inside the center circle to Young. Young drifts to the left side, long range. Now reverses back in between the circles to reset the offense from inside the center circle. Pass to the left wing to Burns. Burns in the paint. Gets the ball to Young, and now we're going to have a foul called on Harrison County. It's going to be on Van Hook. That'll be Caroline's first. From her own baseline to trigger the inbounds pass is going to be Young. Young lobs it to Burns. Burns back into the corner to Littleton this time. She'll get it back to Burns up top. Burns a step inside the arc, now steps back outside and gets the ball back to Littleton. Into the corner, she'll find Young. Up top of the basketball now, Payne. Gets to the right side. Here's Young with a 3-point try. Good. First points of the game for Alexis Young. And they're going to call it a 2. Yep, or a 3 rather. 10-0 your score now. And facing full court pressure, Harrison County drops the ball, but it's going to last be touched by Mason County. Kenny's attempt to inbound the ball is going to be kicked out of bounds by Young. Boy, this is a tenacious defense for Mason County. Kinney's inbounds pass comes to Custard. She'll lob it, and it's taken away for the 4th turnover. Going to the basket is Young. Her shot's no good, but she's fouled and will go to the line. Foul's going to be on Kinney. It'll be her first. So Young at the line on the year. She is a 49% free throw shooter. First free throw by the freshman is up and good. Coming in the game for Harrison County, Marley Toll and Hayden Lunsford. Toll, a 5'9" freshman, averaging 2.2. Lunsford, a 5'5" sophomore, averaging 4.6. Second free throw by Young is on the way and good to make the score 12-0. 5:43 left to go in the first quarter. Up the floor against the full court pressure. Harrison County gets the ball into the front court. Now up top, Hudgens will fire a three. Good! First points of the game for Harrison County. Comes off the hand of Bailey Hudgens, another Knupplaw three-pointer for our girls that makes the score 12-3. 5:25 left to go in this first quarter. With the basketball racing to the basket, but missing the layup that time was Payne. Rebound on the floor, and we're going to have a tie-up. Possession arrow will give it to the Fillies. They've been here for Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you now. Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Mike Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit efarmcredit.com. Harrison County breaks the press just barely. Here's a lob pass to the top of the key to Van Hook, down on the block to Kinney. Kinney finds Toll underneath the basket, or has her shot blocked. Ball goes out of bounds, last touched by Mason County. So the Fillies will maintain possession. From her own baseline, Hudgens to trigger the inbounds pass. Bailey looking, gets it to the block to Van Hook. Her shot off the glass is good. Nice move to the basket that time by Caroline, which gets Harrison County back to it in 7 at 12-5. So after that disastrous start, starting to stabilize. With the basketball on the right elbow, Young gets it up top and into the hands of Payne. To the left side, here's a three fired up by Burns, no good, and with the raw rebound on the offside, Van Hook. Caroline in the front court. Gets it into the paint, has her dribble back tapped away from behind. Up the floor, racing to the basket and laying it up and in will be Payne. 5 points for Sarah Payne. Makes the score 14-5. So we hit the midway point of the first quarter. Left side, Lunsford on the baseline to Kinney. Kinney tried to find Toll, but she'd already left to go get rebounding position, and right into the bread basket of Alexis Young. Bringing the ball into the front court will be Payne. She'll get it into the paint to Young. Turnaround 10-footer, good in the paint. Young with 7 first quarter points. 10-footer in the lane. Makes it 16-5. 3:31 now on the clock here in the first. On the right side, Lunsford for a three-pointer. No good, barely grazed the rim. And the rebound pulled in by Mason County. Into the front court with the basketball. Payne on the left side. She'll lob it, knocked away by Hudgens into the backcourt, but Payne goes and outraces her to it. Look at it back on the left wing to Young. Skip pass to the far side to Payne. Payne up top. Here's a Sims three-point try way off the mark, and Caroline gets the rebound again. Into the front court. Kinney left side, 5-footer, too long. Hudgens put back no good. Ensuing rebound still being fought for, and finally coming up with it, Harrison County. It was Marley that got that one. Next shot is missed. Going down the court with the basketball is Payne, who puts it up and in. Sarah Payne gives her team an 18-5 lead now after that layup, with 2:32 on the clock. And now we've got an injured player. Well, she popped right back up again. That foul was called on Young, who is the player that went down for a second. Couple of subs coming in for Mason County. We've got Amira Reed, a 5'4 freshman, averaging 3.7, and Sadea Thomas, a 5'8 senior, averaging 3.3 points per contest. Van Hook inbounds the ball to Custard, who's returned to the game. She'll bring it across the timeline on the far sideline. Now tries a pass to Lunsford. It goes through her hands and out of bounds for the 7th turnover for Harrison County here in the first nearly 6 minutes. Fillies trail 18-5. With the basketball coming into the front court is Burns. Pass to the right side, long range to Payne. Payne lobs the ball to Young at the elbow. Back up, shot from there is off the flange, and Van Hook comes away with the rebound, her third of the first quarter. In the front court on the right side, Hudgens lobs it inside, knocked away. Loose ball wisely let go by Lindell out of bounds. So Harrison will maintain possession. From her own baseline, Hudgens to trigger the inbounds pass. Hudgens gets it to Van Hook, but it goes off her hands. Actually, it was knocked out of her hands by Thomas. So Harrison once again will maintain possession. From the far corner, Hudgens will inbounds the ball this time. Gets it into the hands of Custard on the wing. Keeley in the paint, drops the ball, and they're going to say because of a foul on Mason. Foul's on Burns. It'll be Lacey Burns' first personal foul. Stepping back into the game, Littleton. She'll come in for Burns. From her own baseline, once again, Hudgens trying to get the ball in bounds. Sophomore looks, fires it off the back of the backboard. So give the ball back to Mason County. Cynthia and Hardee's want you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. Made from scratch biscuits, never frozen burgers, and many other great options at Hardee's in Cynthiana. Sims checks back in for Mason, coming in for Young, who's had a very successful first part of the game with 7 points. Across the timeline comes Littleton. Gets it on the near side, long range to Thomas. Thomas up top to Reed. She'll find Sims, who will get on the baseline and into the hand. And now we're going to charging call. All right. Caroline Van Hook taking the charge, and she went down pretty hard. Obviously the foul is on Avery Sims, her first. Only the first turnover of the game for Mason County. Caroline slowly getting up off the floor. She took a hard shot on that charge. Now she's straightened up, and it'll be fine. Just got to run it off. 1:24 left to go in the first quarter. Harrison still trailing 18-5. Mason County scored the first 12 points of this game. So since that time, we played the girls even. Inbounds pass comes to Custard against the full court pressure. Back to Van Hook. Now to this side to Hudgens. Hudgens to Van Hook in the middle of the floor. Gets it into the front court to Lunsford. To the left side to Custard. Custard flies to the block. Her shot's blocked. Rebound pulled in by Mason County. Flying up the floor this time and missing the shot was Payne. Rebound pulled down by Van Hook. In the front court in between the circles, Van Hook with less than a minute to go gets the ball on the right side to Custard. Custard to the top of the key to Lunsford. Lunsford lobs the ball down to the block to Van Hook. Up and under move off the glass, no good. Rebound is going to be pulled in by Mason County. In the front court, Littleton gets the ball down low, and shot's going to be good by Sims. Avery Sims with her fourth. Up 5 with just 26 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Hudgens up top to Van Hook, to the right side to Custard, long range. Keeley looking inside. 17 seconds on the clock, gives the ball to Hudgens. Hudgens crosses over her dribble, but goes behind the back. Now backs up for a three-point try. Air ball. Ball goes harmlessly out of bounds with 7 seconds left. Mason County will have to go the length of the floor. Inbounds pass comes to Reed. Reed in the front court to Thomas for a three. Bounces off. Offside rebound grabbed by Van Hook. But that will bring us to the end of the first quarter of play with your score. Mason County 20, Harrison County 5. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports. righty, back here at the Hilltop. Harrison County finds themselves down by a score of 20-5 after the first 8 minutes. As we said, Mason County scoring the first 12 points of the game. And right now leading by 15. And the Lady Royals will have the ball to begin the second quarter. Littleton with it. Gets into the backcourt now to Thomas. Thomas to the top of the key to Reed. Back to Thomas. Back to Reed on the left side now for a three-pointer. Good. Left her all alone, and Amira Reed buries the tray to put her team up by a score of 23-5. 7:43 left to go in the first half. Here's a pass inside, knocked away. Custard picks up the loose ball and gets it to Hudgens in the corner. Hudgens on the block to Van Hook. Backs up her defender, puts it in the basket, and she's fouled. And will have a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play. Good job that time by Caroline. Gets her team back to within 16 at 23-7. But now a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play with 7:32 left to go. And it's going to be off the flange, no good. Skying for the rebound that time was Amira Reed. Royals in the front court. Reed on the baseline finds Sims. Sims gets it into the paint. Layup is going to be good by Mason. And their numbers are hard to read. That's Zendaya Thomas's first points of the game. Makes it a 25-7 score. We played a minute in the second quarter. With the basketball, Custard gets it in the corner to Hudgens. Make that Lunsford. Lunsford has the ball knocked away from behind, and loose ball picked up by Mason County. Into the front court we come. With the basketball up top is Payne. Here's a pass to Reed. Her three-pointer is no good. And there's Lunsford for her first rebound of the game. Into the front court, Hudgens on the left side. Goes baseline. Tries to dump it off to one of her teammates. But it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Mason as Marley Toll returns to the contest. If you're fed up, call Canup. Canup Law promises to treat you with care, respect, and dignity in whatever legal situation you're in. Visit them at canuplaw.com. Inbounds pass comes to Custard. Keeley goes to the top of the key, now to the left elbow, delivers it back to the top to Van Hook, who goes into the paint, 12-footer off to the left, and it's going to be Avery Sims who brings in the rebound. In the front court, pass down low is knocked away. Loose ball picked up by Thomas for a three, rims out. Rebound is going to be chased down by Van Hook. Caroline in the front court quickly gets the ball to Custard on the baseline. 15-footer off the flange, no good. Offside rebound pulled in by Mason County, who then themselves throw the ball away. Here's a pass down low to Toll, who puts it up and in. Marley with her first points of the ball game. Harrison County down 25-9 though, with 5:44 left to go in the first half. Reed underneath the basket finds a wide open Sims, who lays it up and in. That's a half a dozen points for Avery Sims. So the league goes back to 18 at 27-9 for the Lady Royals. In the front court at the top of the key, Van Hook to the right side finds Custard. Keeley will track it over to the far side and get it on the wing to Hudgens. Hudgens thought about the three, now gets to Van Hook beyond three-point range. She'll get it back between the circles to Hudgens, who will reset the offense. Hudgens drifts over to this side, now reverses back to the other side. Be careful. Thomas with good defense in front of her. And now a timeout is going to be called by Harrison County. And it is going to be a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep her right here. 5 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in this first half of play. And right now, it's the Lady Royals who are in control, leading 27-9. It may be difficult to understand everything your teenager is saying, but with Dustin and Amy at Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, at least it's easy to get great insurance. Call them at 859-234-4514. Fillies break their huddle and join the Lady Royals out on the court. Inbounding the ball out of the timeout will be Custard at the hash mark across the way from us. Custard's looking for someone to pass to, and she finds Toll, who will give it back to Keeley. Custard at the top of the key, drifts to the right side, hands it off to Kinney in front of the Mason bench. Now back between the circles to Custard where she'll reset the offense. Pass on the wing to Kinney. In the corner finds Lunsford. Lunsford picks up her dribble, now gets it between the circles to Van Hook. Van Hook drives, kicks it back to Lunsford on this side. Lunsford in the paint, a runner is good. Hayden Lunsford with her first points of the game. Gets her team in double figures points-wise, although they do still trail 27-11. With the basketball on the right side, long-range Sims. Sims drives, gets it to Young. Now back between the circles of Burns. Burns to the right side to Payne. Payne tries to loft the ball inside. It's knocked away, and the loose ball picked up by Custard. Here come the Fillies in a hurry. Fillies, Custard puts one up from about 10 feet away, too hard off of the glass, but going and getting the offensive rebound is Lunsford. She'll get it up top to Van Hook. Ball fake, moves to the foul line, jump shot, rolls in there, good. Half a dozen points now for Caroline. Makes the score 27-13. And now we're going to have a charge called as Lacey Burns ran over the top of Van Hook. It'll be Burns' second personal foul, and we'll get her a seat on the bench here in short order as Littleton will, actually Littleton is coming in for Reed. They'll keep Burns out there with those two personal fouls. 27-13, Harrison County down but have the basketball. Still lots of time left in this ball game. Walking the ball into the front court will be Custard. She'll drift to the left side, long range. Now makes her move to the right elbow, down to the block between a triple team, forces up a shot that's good. First points of the game for Custard on the layup. 27-15, Harrison County trying to sneak back into this thing. With the ball in the front court, Burns gets it to the elbow, this time to Young. She'll flash it back to Thomas, who fires a three-pointer. No good, but Young is there for the putback, misses it, gets her own rebound, puts it back up, and this time her shot is good. So Young with the offensive board and the points. And puts her team back up by a score of 29-15. Put back basket. 2:52 left to go. Here's a three by Lunsford. No good. Van Hook, though, is there for the rebound. Kicks it back out top to Custard. Her three is no good. Van Hook once again gets it. Puts it back up. No good, but she's going to be fouled. And we'll go to the line. Foul is going to be assessed to Sadea Thomas. That'll be Thomas's first personal. Van Hook at the line for the second time. She's 0 for 1 tonight. Overall in the year, a 60% free throw shooter. First free throw here is good. Hudgens and Linville come back in for Harrison. Returning to the game for Mason is Sarah Payne. 29-16. Second free throw upcoming for Van Hook with 2:41 left to go in the first half. And this one is going to be short. Rebound, pull down by Payne, or make that Burns. Into the front court we come. Here's the three from the corner by Littleton. No good. Long rebound comes out to Littleton. And here's a three that's fired in there. Burns with that three-pointer. Her first tray of the night makes it 32-16 as the Lady Royals have doubled up the Fillies with 2:12 left to go in the first half. Custard over to the left side to Hudgens. Fires a pass down on the block to Van Hooker. An up and under move is good. 9 points now for Caroline. And Harrison County back down 32-18. Under 2 to go here in this first half. Over on the right side, Burns. She'll get in the corner to Shelby Thompson, who's checked in the game. Thompson, a 5'6" senior, averaging 1.2. Young skip pass to Burns. Burns back to Young for a three-point try. High off the iron, no good. And Van Hook gets another rebound. She has 9 here in the first half. In the corner, Hudgens ball fake. Moves inside the arc, now backs it back out again to reset the offense. Harrison trailing 32-18. This is a kind of a big trip for us right here. I'd like to get that deficit down to single digits by halftime. Linville from the block puts it too hard off the glass, and the offside rebound is pulled in by Mason County. Into the front court with the basketball. Here's a three fired up, no good by Burns, and Linville grabs the rebound. Custard with the ball now on the left side finds Van Hook. Back up top to Custard, long range. Custard, a bounce pass to the right side to Hudgens. Down low, ball knocked out of bounds by Young. Coming into the game will be Sims with under a minute to go in the first half. The Lady Royals have led all the way since an opening 12-0 rally. From our own baseline, Hudgens trying to get the ball inbounds. Looking, now lobs it up top and into the hands of Custard. Custard will go back between the circles to reset the offense. Now makes her move to the left elbow, spins into the paint, puts up a floater that's no good, too hard off the rim. Gets her own rebound, however, and then the ball is taken away by Mason County. Into the front court comes Burns. Burns to the left side. Here's a steal by Hudgens. Nice timing that time. And now Hudgens will have her dribble knocked out of bounds, but Harrison will maintain possession. Like a good neighbor, Joe Cochran with State Farm is there. Get a new home or auto quote with Joe by calling 859-234-3813. Joe always supports the Breads and Fillies. Hudgens from her own baseline lobs it off the bottom of the backboard. That's twice that's happened. Turnover gives the ball back to Mason County with 32 seconds on the clock. Let's see if they go for one here. Inbounds pass comes to Littleton. Littleton over on the far side finds Burns. Burns back up top to Thompson. Now in the corner finds Littleton, who drives but is cut off by Linville. She'll get it back up top and into the hands of Payne. Payne to Burns. Down low to Sims, and Sims is going to be pushed from behind by Linville. Be Linville's first personal foul. Only the third team foul on the Phillies here in the half. 13 seconds left in half number one. From our own baseline, Littleton gets the ball to Burns. Burns brings it back up top. 10 seconds left now. Burns to the right side to Littleton, long range. Littleton finds Payne for a three-point try, air ball. So with 2.5 seconds left, the Phillies have to go the length of the floor if they want to score before we go to the locker room. Van Hook to Hudgens. Hudgens to Van Hook. Now to Custard. And that is the way that the first half will end with your score. Mason County 32, Harrison County 18. We invite you to join us now for our halftime show brought to you by Joe Cochran out at State Farm. We'll go over all the scoring and stats from this first half. All that coming up after this timeout. But once again, from here on the hilltop at halftime, your score, Mason County 32, Harrison County 18. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN. righty, back here at the Hilltop. Things are not going too well right now for the home team as the Fillies trail the Mason County Lady Royals 32-18. But that's a little bit of a misnomer because the first 2 minutes of the game were absolutely owned by Mason County. In those first 2 minutes, they gathered the first 12 points of the game. Since that time, Harrison County's played them almost even, 20-18. But that first 2 minutes, and this has been a familiar refrain for this Phillies team, those first 2 minutes are what eventually beats us because we've played close with just about every team we played except for a couple of minutes here and a couple of minutes there. Be that as it may, taking a look at the individual scoring, Mason County is paced in the first half by Alexis Young, who has 9 points here at the break, 7 points for Sarah Payne, 6 for Avery Sims, 5 for Lacey Burns, 3 for Amira Reed, and a couple for Sadea Thomas. Also playing but not scoring, Macy Littleton and Shelby Thompson. Meanwhile, Harrison County, led by Caroline Vanhook, has both 9 points and 9 rebounds here in the first half. Also scoring for the Fillies, Bailey Hudgens had a tray back in the first quarter for her 3 points, and then 2 points apiece for Keely Custard, Hayden Lunsford, and Marley Toll. Also playing but not scoring, Brooke Kinney and Katie Linville. That's the way the individual numbers stack up. We'll take a break and come back and let you know what the team stats look like right after this timeout. But once again, from here on the Hilltop, your halftime score, Mason County 32, Harrison County 18. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports. All righty, back here at the Hilltop, let's take a look at the stats team-wise here in the first half. Harrison County was 8 out of 25, that's 32%, including 1 out of 6 from three-point range. Meanwhile, Mason County, 13 of 31 for 41.9%. They fired up 15 trays and made 4. Neither team went to the foul line that much in the first half as we had a combined 9. Harrison County was 1 for 3 for 33.3%, while the Lady Royals made both of their tries, 2 for 2, 100%. Turnovers in the first half, Harrison County committed 9, but 7 of those came in the first quarter when we were falling behind fast and quick as we turned the ball over the first 4 times we had the ball. 6 turnovers for the Lady Royals in the first half of play. And the rebounding battle was won by Mason County, 20-17. 8 offensive and 12 defensive rebounds for Mason County. They were paced in that department by Sarah Payne, who had 4 rebounds at the break. Meanwhile, 7 offensive and 10 defensive rebounds for the Fillies. The leading rebounder, as almost always, Caroline Vanhook, who has 8 boards here at the break. So she is just 2 rebounds and 1 point short of what would be her 7th double-double of the season. That's the way the stats look. Hopefully the Fillies can make a comeback in the third quarter and on. But what we'll do right now is take a break and then come back with the third quarter handoff after this timeout. Your halftime score once again, Mason County 32, Harrison County 18. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports. All righty, back here at the Hilltop. Harrison County down by 14. They've trailed by as many as 15, but will have the ball to begin the second half. Custard lobs the ball to the top of the key to Van Hook. Down on the baseline to Kenny. Kenny tries to get the ball to Linville. Knocked away. And the loose ball picked up by Mason County. Up the floor with the basketball and into the front court will come Payne. Payne dishes it off to Burns at the top of the key. Burns trying to get away from the defense of Hudgens. Passes the ball into the corner to Young. Back on the wing to Burns. Burns in between the circles will get the ball to Littleton. Littleton drives to the right side, now backs up herself and makes a move to the top of the key. Pass in turn comes to Payne, who will hand it right back to Littleton. Littleton guarded by Custard, trying to work herself free. Gets it over on the left side beyond the arc to Payne. Payne to Sims, who starts out the second half. Gets it to Burns on a skip pass. Burns in the paint. Tries to throw the ball in the corner, but it has a little bit of a curve on it and goes out of bounds. So Harrison County will get the ball back. Well, you know about the Beast Pizza, but don't forget about Snappy's great salads and sandwiches. Just dial 235-7627 right now. That's 235-SNAP. That's better. With the basketball, Van Hook over on the right side finds Kenny. Into the corner to Custard. Down low to Linville. Now up top to Van Hook for a three. Off to the left, no good. And down with the rebound, Alexis Young. Into the front court come the Lady Royals. Still leading 32-18 as neither team has scored here in the first minute and a half of the third quarter. Burns to Young. Young flashes it back outside, knocked away by Kinney, but chasing down the loose ball, Littleton near the timeline. Gets it on the baseline to Young. Her 10-footer goes about 9 feet and out of bounds. So Harrison County with the ball. Fillies 7-16 coming in. Mason 9-14. Lady Royals were about an 8-point favorite. Right now they lead by 14. Across timeline comes Custard. Lobs to the far hash mark to Van Hook. Skip pass to the near side to Hudgens. Fake to three. Brought the ball down. Now skips it back to the far side to Van Hook. Up top Custard. Left side Hudgens open for a three this time. Short. And coming down with the rebound once again will be Young. And now here's a pass down low. That's going to be a foul call on Custard. That'll be Keeley's first of the ball game. And we'll send Sims to the line for the first time tonight on the year. Sims is a 62% free throw shooter. Has 6 points, which is just one shy of her season's average, which she gets with that first free toss. Makes it 33-18 with 5:53 left. Second free throw also good by Sims. Toll checks back in now for Harrison County, who now finds themselves behind 34-18. Inbounds pass against the full court pressure comes to Hudgens, to Kinney. Gets to the far side to Custard, into the front court to Van Hook. Van Hook now to Hudgens. Hudgens goes to the block, skips it back up top, knocked away. Race for the loose ball is going to be won by Burns. Burns waiting on the rest of her team. Gets it up top now to Littleton for three. No good off to the left. And the offside rebound is going to be pulled in by Custard. Harrison County on the move with the basketball on the right wing. Custard up top to Hudgens for the open three. Try good. There's another up-wall three-pointer. The second one buried today by Bailey Hudgens. And Harrison County is back to within a Baker's dozen at 34-21. 5:12 left in the third quarter. Here's a three fired up by Burns. That's a little bit off the mark. And on the rebound, we'll have a tie-up. Possession arrow will keep it in Mason County's hands as Hayden Lunsford will return to the lineup. She'll come in for Custard. From her own baseline to trigger the inbounds pass will be Payne. Make that Littleton, excuse me. In the corner, here's a three fired up and good, this time by Payne. Second tray of the day for Sarah Payne. Puts her team back out top by 16 at 37-21. 4:50 left to go in the third. Van Hook with the basketball now. In the corner finds Hudgens once again open for three. Good again. Another Canup-Law three-pointer by Bailey Hudgens, who now has 9 points all on trays to get her team back to within 13 again at 37-24. We approach the midway point of the third quarter. Here's a pass to Young, right side 15-footer good. Boy, I'll tell you what, Young with 11 points already twice. her season's average. Where has she been? I'm sure that Royal fans are saying right now. Into the front court with the basketball come the Fillies. Toll up top to Van Hook. Van Hook back to Toll on the baseline. Toll then backs up her defender. Tries a shot, but it's going to be partially blocked by Sims. And down with the rebound is make that Littleton. In the front court, ball gets away. Loose ball picked up by Mason, and then Burns falling down, let loose of the ball. Loose ball picked up by Van Hook. Van Hook 1-on-2 is going to have her dribble knocked away and out of bounds. So Harrison will maintain possession. They've been here for Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you now. Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Mike Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit efarmcredit.com. An intended pass by Hudgens is kicked. So the Fillies will try to inbounds it once again as the combo of Reed and Thomas check back in for Mason County. And now Coach Watson not very happy at all with something. Calls a full timeout. We'll take it as well. 3:45 left in the third. Your score, Mason County 39, Harrison County 24. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports. All right, as we get back to action, the inbounds pass comes to Caroline. Gets it back to Hudgens. Her shot's no good, and the ball will go out of bounds. Last touched by the Fillies. Coach Watson rather animated during that timeout. Let's see if it helps. Burns gets the ball inside, knocked away. Loose ball chased after, and we got a scrum and a jump ball. And the basketball will go back. No, I think it's our possession. Yeah, it's going to be our ball. That's the third turnover for Mason County here in the first 4.5 minutes of the third quarter. They had 4 altogether in the first half. Hudgens with the basketball across the timeline. Her team down by 15. Hudgens in between the circles. Behind the back dribble. Oh, almost turned it over. Gets to Van Hook on the near side, long range. Van Hook takes the ball into the paint, goes to the block, drops it, picks it back up, gets to Hudgens in the corner in front of the stable. Hudgens on the wing, lobs it down low, intended for Toll, who catches it, lobs it up front, intended for Lunsford, but Reed is going to knock it out of bounds as Linville returns to the floor. Cynthia Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. Made from scratch biscuits, never frozen burgers, and many other great options at Hardee's in Cynthiana. Linville back in the game for the Fillies. Going to the basket now as Van Hook. Her shot's no good, but she's fouled, and will go to the line for 2. Foul's going to be on Thomas. That'll be her second. Van Hook back to the line where she has struggled tonight, going just 1 for 3. At the 2:59 mark of the third quarter, her first free throw's on the way, and in and out, no good. Caroline went down hard on a charge earlier in the game, but it seems to be none the worse for wear. Second free try is going to be good as she now has 10 points on the night and gets her team back to within 14 at 39-25. Here's a long three, no good, and the rebound is going to be fought for and finally dug out of there by Avery Sims. Up top of the basketball now. Thomas goes to the rack, misses the shot, and the rebound pulled in by Van Hook. Up the floor comes Lunsford, misses the layup, and we're going to have a tie-up that this time will go into the hands of Mason County as Keeley Custard will check back into the ball game. Trying to catch up with my scoring here. With the basketball up top is Burns. Gets it to Thomas. On the baseline, knocked out of Sims' hand out of bounds. Harrison will maintain possession. From her own baseline, this side of the basket, Reed will try to get the ball in as Young and Littleton return to the floor. Burns and Sims check out. Coach Buser has a really nice rotation of about 8 players. Reed lobs it up top to Littleton. Littleton in the paint to Thomas, and as Thomas goes towards the basket, she's going to be fouled by Linville. That will, 34. That'll be Linville's second personal foul. From her own baseline to trigger the inbounds pass will be Littleton. Littleton, a return starter from last year, a senior. Gets it in the corner to Thomas. Thomas gives the ball back to Littleton, who misses the shot, but the offside rebound's picked up by Reed. She'll get it to Young, who puts it up and in. So Young with her 13th point off of the feed from Reed. Alexis Young having a day. Puts her team up 41-25 with 1:44 left to go in the third quarter. Here's a three fired up by Van Hook. Rattles out. Rebound pulled this time down by Littleton. And now Littleton puts it in the hole.
Basket, Littleton.
Macy Littleton, that is her first points of the night. But count nonetheless, 43-25 with 1:25 left to go in the third. In between the circles, Hudgens drives to the elbow, kicks it in the corner to Van Hook. Van Hook in the paint, 10-footer off the flange. And coming away with the rebound this time is Thomas for Mason County, but they're running just a little bit too quickly as the ball goes out in front of them. Kinney back in for Harrison. Coming in for Mason, Olivia Hughes, a 5'4 freshman, averaging 2.2, along with Thompson. Shelby Thompson saw some action in the first half. This is the first look we've gotten of Hughes in the game, though. A minute left to go in the third. Harrison down by 18. They trailed by 14 at the half. Custard guarded closely by Reed. Moves over to the right side. Goes down to the block. Tries a pass. It's going to be picked off by Young. In the front court we come with the basketball. A steal by Custard. Nice job of stepping in the way that time. Custard with 40 seconds left. Goes to the foul line. Stops. Spins. Gets it up top to Lunsford. Lunsford goes towards the basket, but before she gets there, she's going to be fouled. It's going to be on Littleton. It'll be Littleton's first. Both teams, only 2 team fouls. From her own baseline, Custard in the corner finds Kinney for a three-point try. Just a little long, no good. And Thompson gets the rebound. Into the front court come the Lady Royals with 25 seconds left to go in the quarter, and it appears as though they're going to go for the last shot. Up top, Littleton with the basketball, being tracked by Custard. Gets it on the left side to the new girl, Hughes. Here's a pass down low that's knocked out of bounds off of the leg of Young. So Harrison County will get the ball back with 13 seconds left. Plenty of time to go down and get a score. Inbounds pass comes to Custard. Custard across the timeline on the near side of the floor. Moves to the top of the key to the right elbow. Now floats up a 10-footer off the glass and good. There you go, Keeley. Nice shot there. 1 second left. Midcourt shot by Reed is no good. And that is the way that the third quarter will end. At the end of 3, your score, Mason County 43, Harrison County 27. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports.
Feed your farm with Southern States Co-op in Cynthiana. Whether you need feed for dogs, chickens, pigs, rabbits, horses, or cattle, your local Southern States team can help you find the best nutrition program for all of the animals on the farm and around the house. Stop by Southern States on US 27 south of Cynthiana or call 234-2161. That's 234-2161. Curbside service is available.
righty, back here on the hilltop. We got one more quarter to go. In that third quarter, Mason County outscored Harrison County 11-9. So when you start looking, it's that first 2 minutes. That first 2 minutes of the game when we got outscored 12-0 is all the difference in the world. You take that away, this is a close contest. But you can't take that away. Harrison County does have the ball to begin things here in the fourth as Mason County's gone zone on us. Looks like a modified 2-1-2 with Young being a chaser on Van Hook. Maybe a box and one, more or less. Here's a pass up top to Lunsford. She'll get over to the far side to Van Hook long range. Van Hook tries a pass into the paint. It's going to be picked off, however, by Mason County. Lady Royals in the front court trying to set up a shot. Inside the center circle is Littleton. Littleton to Burns, to Young at the free throw line. Gets it on the left wing, long range into the hands of Sims. Back in between the circles to Burns once again. Burns passes the ball in front of her own bench to Payne. Payne up top to Young for the 16-footer. Rims out. Rebound, though, is picked up and put back in this time by Payne. And she will go to the line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. First time that Payne's been to the line tonight on the year. She is a 69% free throw shooter. Sarah Payne. Free throw up and free throw good. Makes the score 46-27. With that old-fashioned three. Early moments of the fourth quarter. Now a steal by Mason on a bad pass by Harrison. Up the floor and into the front court with the basketball will come Payne. She'll get it in between the circles now. Over to the right side to Burns. Burns up top to Littleton. Now to the left side finds Young. Young goes into the paint, kicks it up top. Here's a wide open three try by Payne that's no good. And Van Hook grabs the long rebound. She has 11 boards now, so her 7th double-double of the year, 10 points, 11 boards. Lunsford tries a pass down low to Custer, knocked away, but Lunsford gets the loose ball and finds Van Hook. Van Hook in the paint, 12-footer good. A dozen points now for Caroline. But still Harrison County trails by a score of 46-29. Now we'll have a foul, a charging foul on Mason County. It's going to be on Burns. That'll be her third as Hudgens checks back in for the Fillies. So off of the turnover, Harrison facing full court pressure. Custer to Van Hook. Over on the far sideline finds Hudgens. Hudgens in the corner to Toll. Toll throws the ball, attempted for Hudgens. It's knocked to the bounds, however, by Young. From her own baseline, Hudgens will trigger the inbounds pass. Hudgens looking, finds Van Hook under the basket. Triple team, she'll find Toll. Toll fans it back over Kenny's head. Loose ball picked up by Mason. Reed gets the ball to Littleton, who will wait on the rest of her team now. Littleton backs it up near the center circle to reset. Pass to Reed. Reed lobs the ball to the foul line to Young. Young in the corner finds Littleton. Littleton drives to the basket, cut off, gets it to Young. Up top, Reed wide open for a three, and it's good. Second tray of the night for Myra Reed. And the lead grows to 20 at 49-29. And now another turnover by the Fillies. Starting to be rash. Here's a pass down low. Shot is made by Payne. And a timeout called by the Fillies. We'll take it as well. 5:06 left to go. Your score. Mason County 51, Harrison County 29. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCUN.
Out here in the real world, we've spent too much time waiting around and wondering if we'll ever get to be what we really want to be. Now it's time to move forward. And with a little help from Maysville Community and Technical College, you can finish that degree or start a whole new life as an IT VIP, a healthcare hero, and more. In less time and for less money than you think. The time is now. The place is here. Never underestimate you.
All right, as we get back to action, Harrison County down by 22 points as they've been outscored here in the fourth quarter by a measure of 8-2. Out of the timeout, Custard across the timeline with the basketball. Surveys the defense. Now dribbles over to the right side where she'll get the ball to Kinney near the hash in front of the stable. Back up top to Van Hook once again. To the left side finds Custard. Custard up top to Hudgens. Over to the right side to Van Hook. She'll get it in the paint to Linville. Skip pass to the near side to Hudgens. She'll fire a three. Rims out. Rebound is going to be a tie-up. Alternating possession arrow, unfortunately, will be giving the ball to Mason County. Well, if you're fed up, call Canup. Canup Law promises to treat you with care, respect, and dignity in whatever legal situation you're in. Visit them at canuplaw.com. Across the timeline comes Littleton. Gets it down low to Young. Her shot's no good, but she's fouled. Now they're going to call a jump ball. Okay. Possession arrow will give the ball back to Harrison County. Alexis Young with 13 points tonight. Really putting on a show, and she's just a freshman, 5'11". She's got a very bright future. Her previous career high was 11 that she got against Christian County down in Warren Central tournament during Christmas. Shot put up no good by Harrison County as Littleton races up the floor. And now her intended pass for Young is knocked to the bounds by Harrison County. 4 seconds away from the midpoint of the fourth quarter. From her own baseline, Littleton gets it on the wing to Reed. Back to Littleton in the corner. Littleton will bring it back out front to reset the offense. Gets it on the left side to Reed. Reed lobs the ball in between the circles to Payne. Payne back to the left side to Reed. Reed now gets the ball in the corner to Young for a three-pointer. Good. Alexis Young with 16 points, 2 of which have been three-pointers. Makes the score 54-29 as this game's starting to get away from us a little bit. Into the front court with the basketball. Custard to Hudgens. Hudgens down low to Van Hook, who puts it off the glass. No good, but she's fouled and will go to the line for 2. Good pass that time by Bailey on the interior. Fouls on Sims. That'll be her second. Van back to the line where she's struggled tonight, going just 2 for 5. First free throw by the senior is going to bounce in there. Coming in for Mason, Thomas, Hughes, and also for the first time, Carly Buttery. Buttery, a 5'10 freshman averaging 1.5 points a game. Second free throw upcoming for Van Hook is on the way, and this is off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound by Linville. Her putback is off the mark, and this time rebound will be pulled in by Thomas, who's going to be called for palming the ball. So give the ball back to Harrison County as Savannah Kennedy checks in for Harrison. Kennedy, a 5'9" 8th grader, averaging 0.7 points per game. 54-30, I should say, is your score. 3:13 left in this contest. With the basketball, Hudgens to the right side finds Kennedy. Kennedy up top to Hudgens once again. She'll lob it down on the baseline to Linville. Linville fans it back up to Hudgens. Hudgens in the paint. Back to Linville. Right side 10-footer. Good. Nice job that time by Katie for her first points of the night. Little 10-footer. Makes it 54-32. 2:46 left to go in this game. With the basketball, Burns drops it. Loose ball is going to be picked up by Harrison County's Hudgens. Hudgens in the front court to Linville, who's ahead of the crowd, goes to the basket. Her shot blocked out of bounds, however, by Hughes. Harrison will maintain possession as coming into the game now for Harrison, Maddie Carson. Carson, a 5'2" sophomore, averaging 0.9 points per game. Timeout, we'll take it as well. 2:32 left to go. Your score, Mason County 54, Harrison County 32. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCUY. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, out of the timeout. Harrison with the basketball. An inbounds pass from Kennedy is going to be knocked away, and we're going to have a jump ball. This time Mason County will get it back. It may be difficult to understand everything your teenager is saying, but with Dustin and Amy at Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, at least it's easy to get great insurance. Call them at 859-234-4514 with the basketball in the front court, and the corner is Thompson. Here's a pass inside, knocked away. Loose ball, though, picked up by Mason County's Hughes. Hughes on the baseline, puts up a 10-footer, good. First points of the game for Olivia Hughes. Little 10J makes it 56-32. Couple of minutes left to go. With the basketball in the corner, Custard. Custard drives, puts up a runner with the left hand, shot no good. Rebound pulled in by Mason County. Into the front court with the basketball are the Lady Royals. In the paint, Hughes tries a pass. It's knocked away, and the loose ball picked up by Custard. Custard, an outlet pass in the front court to Hudgens. Her shot's no good, but she's fouled. And will go to the line for a couple of free tries with 1:33 left. Fouls on Reed. That'll be on Myra Reed's first. Hudgens at the line for the first time tonight of the year. She's a 66% free throw shooter. Looking for her 10th point. It's on the way and bounces high off the iron and no good. Couple of subs coming in for Harrison County. Lauren Hicks. Hicks, a 5'6 freshman, averaging 0.7 points a game. Also, Maddie Jones comes in the game. She's a 5'6 freshman as well, averaging 0.4 points per contest. Second free throw for Hudgens upcoming. It's on the way, and this one is good. Addie Rowe will check in now for Harrison, 5'7 sophomore, averaging 0.6 points a game. As Hudgens' free throw makes it a 56-33 game with 1:33 left. In the front court with the basketball, Mason County's Hughes. She'll get it up top to Reed. Over to the left side here, the three fired up by Mason, short. And this time coming away with the rebound will be Kennedy. And she was tied up. Possession arrow will keep it in Harrison County's hands. Like a good neighbor, Joe Cochran with State Farm is there. Get a new home or auto quote with Joe by calling 859-234-3813. Joe always supports the Breads and Fillies. Rowe looks to the left, now passes it into the paint to Hicks. Our turnaround 10-footer is no good. And Buttery comes away with the rebound for the Lady Royals. In the front court, Reed gets it in the corner here. The three fired up, no good. Rebound is going to be pulled in by Mason County. Shot no good, but a foul is going to be called against Harrison. It's going to the line. Can't see her number because of the ponytail. First free try, number 4, Thompson. First free throw by Shelby Thompson is no good. With 43, make that 48 seconds, has another chance to get her name in the scorebook. Second try is also no good. Rebound pulled in by Carson. In the front court, gets the ball to Hicks. Her 12-footer's off the mark. And the rebound this time is pulled in by Jacili. Yeah, not sure because the number I'm not sure about. Reed gets the ball over to the left side to the new girl. That might be, I'm not sure who that is. With the right side, here's a pass down low, and going up Hughes, misses the shot, gets her own rebound, puts it back up again. So Hughes with the offensive putback. Makes it 58-33. Clock winding down. Another steal by Mason. And into the front court. Here's a long three at the buzzer by Hughes. It's no good. And that's the way that the game will end. Harrison County falls by a final score of 58-33 to Mason County. Mason County improves now to 10-14 on the season, while the Fillies see their modest 2-game winning streak come to an end. And overall, with 5 games left to go, the Fillies are 7-17. We invite you to join us for our post-game show. We'll go over all the scoring and stats from today's game, as well as have a chat with a member of the Harrison County coaching staff. We'll also name all that coming up after this timeout. But once again, your final score from here on the Hilltop, Mason County 58, Harrison County 33. You've been listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports.